Hello, hello, hello. Today is the 13th of March 2025, and the good news is it's time for Norm Winski. Norm, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. We got some big stuff coming up here in the next few days. I'll be getting to that in a minute, but first, we're going to review what I forecasted while I was last on your show on February 26th. Cycles. The night of the 27th, that's AC after the close. We had a Mercury cycle. Anytime we have Mercury, we want to be looking at the grains: corn, soybeans, wheat. Moon that same night, the night of the 27th, and then anytime we have new moon, full moon, we want to be looking at financials, grains, precious metals, and the sign of Pisces. And we always look at oil anyway. We're going to give double emphasis on oil there because Pisces is the sign for oil. And then that weekend, the 28th, is turning retrograde, which reminds me to offer you some help. If you want any help with any of these technical terms, call me. I'll give you a free class and explain the terminology. And by the way, stocks potentially respond to all these events, so I don't type stocks on every line. Just assume the stock market is involved. Okay. So we had Venus turning retrograde. We have Venus markets: cattle, copper, cotton, sugar, wheat. The weekend of the 28th, we also had a point to the U.S. natal chart. That's country was founded on July the 4th, 1776. Okay, let's jump right in here. Here's our corn chart. Corn was not friendly this time. It just kept going to have a bar ahead of the low of the month. It was too much drawdown from buying on the opening there and possibly holding it there. That was for corn. Corn doesn't move that much, and so that's like 30 cents. It's a huge move for corn. Too much drawdown, so I had to mark both of those as misses. Here was into our first date, the moon, and then we had the Mercury. Let me just check here on my notes. That was Mercury, and then we had Venus, and then the moon. Anyway, we had 2 points for the B, and the second one there didn't work. Wheat was a miss on both of those, the Mercury and the moon. And then we had a very nice low there on Venus retrograde. Cattle is a Venus market, and you're 1 day early. You had a little bit of drawdown there, and then a huge rally, 8.5, about $2,500-$2,600 there on cattle. Cotton, we had way too much drawdown on the cotton, so that's a miss. Low there, you could have made a little bit of money on the sugar. They held in there. And crude oil was very nice, and this was our sort of featured market at that time. And it was in the sign of Pisces. And you see you were right near a very nice top there, just ahead of that top there before a big drop in the oil from a 70 area down to 6. That's $1,000, folks, $5,000 there on the oil. Here's copper pulling back into that low there. That's a Venus market. And then up and away. That copper is a beast. It's $250, and that moved about roughly 57.5 up to almost 30 cents. Wow, that's like 6 or 7 there in a few days, you know. Here's silver right on the low of the month. Okay, here's gold. Too much drawdown. That dropped 50 handles. We got the low day, but if you got in there at the opening, you had to sweat through 50 handles. I don't recommend that. Use a reasonable stop loss, and so that was a miss. Here's S&P. We had 2 points there, 2 points there, and all those worked really well. You had the pull down low there, pop up there. That was the first over the weekend of March 1, and with Venus retrograde and the U.S. point. And then that was a huge top there, and then down, down, down we went. And here's T-bonds, went sideways into our first point, and a little bit of a drawdown there. It went short there to the top, high day of the month right there, before a nice pullback there. And here's the dollar. It danced for the dollar nicely, and then you had a big drop on the dollar. Here's the currency. The currencies I hit 100%. Just on the moon. There's the moon dollar. Here's a low there for the British pound. Here's a low for the Canadian dollar. Here's a low for the euro. Here's a low for the yen. A low for the Swiss franc. Adding up all the green arrows and the red arrows, I had 19 winners, 7 misses out of 26 for 73.08%. I showed you last time because I keep this for my subscribers, but it's been in every letter since, I don't know, since the mid-70s. And I've been doing this thing, my letter now for 6 years. And there we go. I draw a blue line. Maybe some of you heard of Donald Bradley. Bradley kind of inspired me to do this. And I draw in advance, adding up the planetary events and values. And I got that. Now you can say, oh, Norm, look at that. Your amplitude is off. Well, I agree. I did not have do very well on the amplitude. But if you look at these turning points, some of them are rather spectacular. That's the full moon right there. There's a nice, look at that gap down there on the full moon. And then we rallied up, and here's the Hall of Fame one, Jeff. The Venus perihelion on the 19th was the data perihelion would be at 2:53 Eastern Time. And as you may know, the S&P topped at 2:51 Eastern Time. I had a Fibonacci projection of 61.46, and we topped at 61.47.43. I was off by $1.43 and 2 minutes, so I don't know if you based on that. And there we go. And so we're going down, 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 and then we had these points here. We made a little top there, and then a bottom there, and so forth, you know. It's pretty good. There's a whole class there on that chart, you know. All right, here's what's coming up. It's the 13th. Jeff and I are talking here now on March the 13th. And tonight, we have a big thing. We have a lunar eclipse in the sign of Virgo. Anytime a lunar eclipse is just a special kind of, normally we would have a full moon if it's on this cycle, but because everything is lined up so perfectly, the Earth is going to get in the way of the light of the sun to the moon. So the moon's light will be blocked out in the night sky, and that's how you get a lunar eclipse. And so anytime we have a full moon, new moon, and this is a special kind of essentials, grains, precious metals, and oil, and then because it's in Virgo, we'll be emphasizing soybeans. Then over the weekend here, the 14th, we have Saturn's chart to the U.S. Neptune, and so we normally have stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar, also adding oil for the Neptune factor, and then also we have Mercury retrograde. Some perspective. We have a lunar eclipse tonight, and over the weekend we have Mercury turning retrograde. This is a huge combination here, and I think I know we're been going down, down, down on the stock market. I think maybe tomorrow or Monday we should have a turning point, and I don't know if it's going to be a big bottom or just a bounce, but here by Monday, maybe tomorrow. If we get a bounce tomorrow, that may set up for another top when because Mercury's turning retrograde over the weekend. If we just continue going lower into the weekend, then there's an even better chance, I think, that we can make a low on Monday, which will be Monday is the 17th, St. Patrick's Day. There you go. Don't know me. I've been doing this almost 50 years now. This thing says 45. I'm going to update this when I get to May, my anniversary. 50 years ago, I landed on the Chicago Board Options Exchange as a member and market maker. I did that for 12 years. Also traded on the Chicago Board of Trade as a floor trader there. And I'm not a broker. I was risking my own money, and I survived there for 12 years doing the astrology. That's right. So anyway, here we go. Contact me. Looking forward to folks there, Jeff. That's I'm in beautiful Naples, Florida at 239-594-3939. That's 239-594-3939. You can also call me on Skype at nwinski@yahoo.com. But let me warn you that if you watch this video after May, I may not be on. Microsoft just announced they're eliminating Skype, so I'll find another platform for that. But this is all we know now. Or you can email me at the same winski@yahoo.com. Looking forward to helping some of the folks. Please call me right away, and I'll give you a free class explaining the terminology, or maybe give me a call. Looking forward to helping you. Everybody have a great week.
Norm, I can vouch for you calling the top in the stock market. It was one of the most amazing calls I've ever seen. Boy, if you call the bottom next Monday or close to it, that would be
Thank you.
something else. I mean, that was really a wonderful call. We're going to see in a couple of weeks, we're going to see if you did it again. You've been doing it for almost 50 years. I think you're going to keep it up. Norm, we'll see you soon.